Sunday Live. Oh, had 3, down to 2. I have 100% thumbs up. Howdy, Craftsman Miller Freak. I have 3 thumbs ups and 2 people in here. That's weird. Got a storm blowing in right now, so we may lose the live stream. Just letting everybody know. Well, letting a couple of you know. Wow, looky there. There's Miss Zippo, who's actually Miss Zippo now. Mr. Fisher, how do? Adam Edwards, how do? Dodging raindrops at the junkyard day. Our junkyards are closed on Sundays around here. No problem, Willie. We'll see you the next time around. Bob, I'm glad you both made it. I assume it's you and Sue. Howdy, Brian. Boneyard, how do? I saw you just posted a video. I haven't watched it yet. Brother Sloan. I sent you an email and then a follow-up email to your voicemail, Brother Sloan. Glad to hear it, Adam. 7 days a week. Yeah, mine's open 6 days a week. Hello and goodbye, Willie. Thanks for stopping in and letting me know you can't stay. Yeah, the rain just started hammering it and the wind's kicking really good too. I'd show you guys what it looks like out there, but it's frightening. Miss Zippo and I took our first road trip. We went east this time. We were worried that east was a bad idea. It turned out to be a good idea. I ate at a neat little corner hole in the wall ice cream joint that had really good food. Craftsman LT 1000. All right, Adam. There's Bryce. How do, Bryce? Check your model number, Adam. If it starts in 717, then it's a AYP. If not, then it's an MTD. Hello, Elijah and Mom. On the big screen. Well, you guys are all just on a laptop. You guys want to see yourselves? Let me show you yourselves here. Hang on. Let me get it flipped around. I'll show you guys what you guys all look like. That's what I'm looking at right now. Being silly. Howdy, Justin. I assume your dad's on his way. Abandoned 64. How do? Wild Bill, how do? Mr. Ackerman, you caught me. 41 degrees. We were up to 60-ish, 60, maybe 65. But with the rain and everything that's hit, we're starting to take a nosedive. Yeah, we've had rain on and off here too as well. No worries, Justin. You can just relay everything that pertains to the show, any good information that you may learn or something like that. Like, hey, Dad, you missed the best Zippo Live ever. You just kind of rub it in if you want to. All right. We had a funny day. Was it lost dead opportunity for dead batteries on the truck, Bryce? An old 129. Good catch, Boneyard. Good catch. Everybody wave at Mike. That's Justin's dad. He's usually here. Pressure relief for the oil pump? No. They're direct drive off of the cam, Bob. And when the engine spins up, you've got oil pressure. Cub Cadet Super LT 1550 with a blown 22 Courage. I'm working on a CV18 right now. All but done. If you guys saw my last video, I had nothing left Friday. I had nothing left. I just posted that video this morning, but there was nothing left of me. So it's going to get thrown. Howdy, JD. It's going to get thrown in tomorrow. Ogre Beast. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Yeah, I've got a 22 horse Kohler Courage in Miss Zippo's, but I will have a backup 18 horse Vanguard in the event that engine gives up. But it's a young engine yet, so I'm hopeful that it will hang in there for a while. Yeah, I'm working on the Command now, the CV18. Yeah. And 195 foot-pounds of compression on cylinder 1 and 185 on cylinder 2 for a 1,000-hour engine. I'd say that's pretty good. Oh, Bryce, I just asked, oh, you didn't miss a whole lot. I just asked what batteries died. Batteries to your truck. Howdy, Glenn. The comedic relief has arrived in the show. Mr. Glenn. Finished AYP made Husky 1994 LT 14 horsepower Command 42-inch deck. Single cylinder Command, great engines. Just in the truck. Hey, like to make me aware of some Easter eggs in your videos. If you pay close attention, you can hear crickets or someone mowing, birds chirping, or in extreme cases, the tornado siren test. There's a fan going right over here. I just shut the fan off. Now there is an Easter egg. I did put something up. First person to pick what I put up will get, howdy Jack Frost, 65 psi of oil pressure. Anyway, there is a new, in this area, there's something new, and it's very, very, nope, not the tools on the box. It's very, very subtle, very subtle. 130 compression on one, 150 on the other. What do you think? Is it bad enough to check your head gasket? Yes, Dave. I think I would watch for pull your plugs. Your plugs will give you a good indication if you're blowing oil across from your push rod galley over into the cylinder. You'll have one good clean plug and one dirty plug. That'd give you a good indication. And if you're going to replace one head gasket, you may as well replace them both. It's not the Coke bottle. Play button has been on the banner since day one. Keep guessing though. It's very, very subtle. Very subtle. Glenn, I actually have a tornado siren in my yard. It's right out there about 3/4 of an acre away, that way. And every Friday they run it and I get a phone call to test. Okay, if you're really sooty on one plug, Dave, I would go ahead and order head gaskets and just go ahead and replace both of them. You'll get kit, and the kit will include all the gaskets you need, your exhaust manifold gaskets, new bolts for the exhaust, not bolts, but new nuts for the exhaust manifold, for the muffler, new intake gaskets. And there are two different kinds of intake gaskets. One is a rubber intake gasket. The other is a felt intake gasket, regular paper intake gasket. And of course your head gasket. And your torque specs are, I just posted them, 200 foot-pounds or 200 inch-pounds to start, and then 370 inch-pounds as for your secondary torque. So you do a preload of 200 foot-pounds and then 370. No worries, Max. I'm just glad you made it this time. Great to see you here. Great to see you here. Okay, everybody over here in the comments, tell Miss Zippo howdy. We went on our first ride this weekend. We had a good time. Smokey almost let us down, but we made it home on Smokey. No major drama. Max got the first. Andrew, if you're talking about this one, right? Whoops. Here? No. But I can tell you, you're very, very, very warm. This has been here. That one has been there. So if this one has been there, first person, type quick, and you'll get Zippo magnet. Abandoned 64 simplicity. That's what's different. That's the only thing that's different. This is the 2019 Tri-State Gas Engine and Tractor Show schedule. So Abandoned 64. Either on Facebook or Gmail. Well, Bryce, you just got magnets, though. I just sent you some. I hope you got them, didn't you? Give me just a second there, Craftsman Motor Freak. Oh, okay. Yours has the metal reinforcements. All right. Gotcha. Get my thoughts back about me again. Good. Glad. Awesome. Abandoned. And Bryce, Abandoned, thanks you for that. Abandoned, email me at zippovarga@gmail or message me on my Zippo page on Facebook. You can go to my homepage, and on my homepage banner on YouTube, there's a little Facebook dealio that you can click in the bottom right. Howdy, Mr. Powers, bottom right corner. And as soon as I get your mailing address, I'll send you a couple out. I'll send you a decal and a magnet. They're the same thing, and the magnet is still a decal, just so you know. So if it turns out you want two decals, that will actually peel off of the magnet and it'll still be a decal. Boneyard, have to go. I will catch you guys next time. Have a good night. Boneyard, thank you very, very much for stopping by. I'm going to get caught up on your video that you just posted a little bit before I went live. Will it fade in the sun? Probably so. Yes. These are just made by a good friend of mine in a local print shop, and they are not professional grade vinyl quality. I've had one on Sylvester, or not Sylvester, but Clifford. I have one of my old ones on Clifford that's been on there for 3 years, and it's still legible and you can still scan the barcode, but they will fade over time. They're not UV resistant. If you want to make it UV resistant, maybe you could spray it with some kind of UV resistant clear spray paint or something like that. I'm glad you got one on your toolbox, Bryce. Yeah, I was thinking clear coat. But the I just totally and completely lost my train of thought there. It's gone. It's not coming back. Oh, Bryce, the two that I gave you, they are also stickers if you need. And that's all right. Now I remembered what I was going to say. If I upgrade Big Red, my roll around Harbor Freight toolbox with a Series 2 Harbor Freight toolbox in orange, which will match this, I will be drilling the rivets out of the lid on Big Red and keeping that lid. And that lid will get hung up on the wall. Because I've had so many people send me stickers and decals of their channel and where they worked and stuff like that, that way too many memories on there. Plus, I have every year of my, every time I go to the Portland show, I have my tractor stickers on there. Let me get caught up here. You still have some spots to clear coat anyway. Right on, Abandon. Had the stickers, but you couldn't get them to come loose without destroying them. They're not easy to get apart, and the vinyl itself is pretty thin. But if you take two pieces of Scotch tape, put one piece of Scotch tape, this is a trick that I learned a long time ago. One piece of Scotch tape wrapped around your finger with the sticky side out on one side and on the other side, and get on a corner and pull. It'll pull the decal apart, and you'll still be able to get that sticker or the tape off of that vinyl side. This trick I learned years and years and years ago. I have a stink bug that's flying around. Sorry about the fan noise. It's hanging on for dear life now. Justin the Tractor Kid. Kohler videos have been interesting. My dad and I have been diagnosing issues right along you during the videos. Well, how have I been doing? Have I been doing all right? I'm not a huge Kohler guy, but an engine is an engine is an engine. And this one's not been a big challenge, but one thing I will say was with preloading the lifters. I was wrong in thinking they didn't need preloaded. They absolutely do need preloaded. That's Ugly Alice on the stickers, yes. Yep, it is, it is, it is. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Justin. I'm glad I'm doing good. Like I say, and it's all just attention to detail. I'm not the type to get a hold of something and just slap it together. I want to be sure it's right. And the owner's a little antsy. I've only had it for 5 days, but the owner's real antsy to get it back. In fact, his wife just messaged me. I just wanted to let you know he's getting real antsy about getting his mower back. I'm like, he can have it back right now, unfinished, and he can finish making sure everything's right, or he can let me finish my job. I think I'm pretty sure he's going to let me finish my job, but we should be done with it tomorrow. Should be. I agree, Abandon. I agree. The old cast irons. I have one. It's a KT3. I think the 321. It's a 12 horse. Howdy, Steve. What do I have happen if you started the engine without pumping the lifters up? you'll drop a push rod and run the risk of bending the push rod. Then you'll have to buy another push rod. Just because they're not pumped up, they don't have the force that they need. And by not pumping them up and pre-filling them with oil, I was told that you could just put them in and pump them up. What I wasn't understanding is that when you do that, you don't assemble the push rod and the rocker arm. You just spin the engine over to pump up the lifter, and you check the lifter as you're doing it. It's a lot easier just to stick it in oil, and it's like bench bleeding a brake master cylinder. It's easier just to do it there than it is to do it in the vehicle or in the engine. Never, ever, ever, Ed. That's the answer to your question about cheap aftermarket Briggs for carbs for Briggs engines. Never, ever, ever. They are cheap for a reason. 75% of the people that I talk to say they end up just rebuilding their original. If their original is damaged, they end up sourcing a good used original to rebuild. You can still buy new ones. An actual Briggs carburetor is going to set you back about $175, but don't get the cheap Chinese $25 Briggs knockoff carbs. Nothing but regret. That's my take on that. Do with it what you will. Working with someone in a local shop, Zippo, I learned the lifter had to be preloaded and not supposed to broadcast shop's name, but you know it. I know the shop. I know the shop. 321 is 14 horsepower. Then whatever the 12 horsepower is, it actually came out of a car, believe it or not, a King Midget. K301. Okay. Thank you, Abandon. Like I said, I'm not super up on my Kohlers. I do like the Kohler K series, though. I also like the KT series. Adam, hello to your girlfriend. Jack Frost, what do I think about Simplicity 4040? Get it if you don't already have it. If it's powered by an Onan, mind it very, very closely and very, very carefully. Kohler now owns the parts owns the rights to Onan, so they're starting to phase in being able to get parts for the older Onans again, but Small Engine Warehouse makes a kit to put a Briggs or Kohler, if you so choose, in place of the Onan if your Onan ever gives out. Abandon. We'll see you. Thank you very, very much for stopping in. Right on, Andrew. Everybody read Andrew Aaron's message over there. You run cheap aftermarket carbs on K-Series Kohlers, but not on Briggs. Yeah, they work great. Yes, those carbs for the Kohlers, absolutely, all day long. Excuse me, did I say Kohlers? Yeah, the ones for the old KT Kohlers, or K Kohlers rather. Yeah, they're fantastic. It's either that or you have to rebush and install new butterfly shaft and do all that. The old ones can be rebuilt, but yeah, you can run the newer ones all day long. I think there's let me get it right. I think there's a Tecumseh carburetor that, if I'm not mistaken, either off the 8 horse or the 11 horse Tecumseh, that's almost a direct bolt on. And are they Nicky carbs? Some pullers are using motorcycle carburetors, Nicky carbs. A K161, 161. 7 horsepower. I'm just guessing. I'm not super up. Okay, Bryce, the Smoky story. I'm missing a bunch here. I'll get to the Smoky story. Hang on, let me catch up. Not complaining about the noise at all, Zippo. Just think it's kind of funny how someone is mowing around your place. Nobody's mowing around my place. It's a fan. It's raining out. It's this. Sounds like a mower, but it's not. It's a fan. So is it quiet enough now? John, great, glad. Oh, during the other videos. Yeah, that is always. There's always somebody mowing. Yeah, I live in pretty much a retirement community. It's kind of nuts. It stopped raining briefly, and the sun is shining, even though it's getting ready to go down. The sun's shining. I'm looking east, but I'm seeing sunshine coming from the west. Okay, right. Smoky story. Everybody, the Smoky story. The 1986 GL 1200 Goldwing. Started, ran fine. Everything did great. If you guys remember, there's a lot of work that was needing to be done to it, and I didn't get to it this past winter. So I've essentially been running the engine off battery and about 12.6, 12.7 volts of charge because I have one leg of the stator that's bad. Well, the battery is getting tired of trying to keep up and constantly being cycled and recharged. Fortunately, thanks to Mama Sue, I thought ahead and put an AGM battery in the trunk in the back with a set of jumper cables. And I also brought one of my little lithium-ion jump packs. So we did not get stranded. However, we did take a stop at a gas station to hook the AGM battery up to the lead acid factory battery, let it draw charge across it, and we weren't too far from home at that point. But by the time I was ready to take my exit to get to my house, I noticed when I put my turn signals on, it was bright enough, and as soon as I'd step on the brake or grab the brake handle, it would dim. I was almost out of battery power. I get home, come to find out, I believe I have one either very weak cell in the battery. Yes, their fluid levels are all topped off, but one weak cell in the battery or one dead cell in the battery because the battery refused to charge over 12 volts for a good long while. I did go out this morning and checked, and it said that the battery voltage had come up and stabilized at 12.8 volts. So it did bring it back up eventually. Maybe that cell's okay, and the battery just had a hiccup. But that was the story. But within the next, I would say, 30 days, there'll be a news story. Okay, let me get caught up here. 1,300 for the 4040. Yes, it is a fair price. And if it's not run for a year, get rid of the gas that's in it. Put fresh gas in it before you ever try to crank it over. Take a battery with you, at least a 360 cold cranking amp battery with you. Make sure it runs before you take ownership of it. Tell them you want to hear it run before you hand them 1,300. 1,300 is a very fair price for one that is complete and running. You're also going to want to check and make sure that your rear PTO clutch is present and that it's operational. That's an Achilles heel of those. If you're not planning on using a bunch of rear mounted implements, don't worry about it. But if you are, make sure that rear clutch engages the way it's supposed to. Ogre Beast, Raining on and off over here as well. Yeah, it's not raining here now. And Max, raining here too. You blame me for sending it this way. Sorry. 7. Okay, well, that was just a good guess on my part, Craftsman. Early ones are 6.6 when they started boring the blocks for K181s. They did it to K161s, which bumped it to a true 7 horsepower. Gotcha. Yeah, I'm about over this rain. But Dave, you're good on just how to check real quick for you. Just compare both plugs to see if you've got a head gasket getting ready to go bad on you, or one that has gone bad. Take me and Tom. How do? How are you this fine evening? Okay, Max and Dave are talking back and forth. Justin the tractor kid. Rained here quite a bit today. Yeah, we had a couple of good deluges here as well. Some pretty heavy rain. The gentleman that I am, I took an umbrella out for Miss Zippo while we were loading and unloading the groceries into Clifford so that I keep her dry. And by the time we got home, was down to just barely even a drizzle, so we hurried up and moved everything in. And then it came straight down sideways. Clouds just opened up. We're going to give it just a few more minutes here, guys. I'm tired. Oh, Justin, yeah, that rain kind of turns the switch off on that. Wyman Bob, please be safe. We're going to give it about 3 more minutes. Then we're going to go ahead and kill the live stream. Maintenance guy here gave you a push mower that didn't even look a year old. Pulled it off the patio from someone that had moved out. Fixed a $300 mower for $30 by putting in a new carb. You can't beat that. And I've had deals like that too, where people have, like, they'll run over something and bend the crankshaft on a push mower. They can be straightened out. And I got a brand new all-wheel drive Husqvarna that the guy hadn't even used for 30 minutes for $50. Got a ride-in loader today at a junkyard. Does that count? Has tractor activities. That does count, Craftsman Mower Freak. Sure does. We'll be getting them all out so we can have a garage sale this coming weekend. Our neighborhood garage sale was this past weekend. Miss Zippo, you still hanging around? Getting ready to say our goodbyes, and I'm sure the gents and the ladies that are also watching would like to say good night. Miss Zippo, there she is. Paid $50 for your Craftsman. That's a good price. It'd have rear-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, no-wheel drive, rear bagger, mulching. Good night, Swiss Family Zippo. Bryce, the batteries that you said you had problems with, again, was that chair or truck? If you did answer, I don't remember. Craftsman Mower Freak, a good one to you. Rooney Sears, hey, no problem. No problem. Yeah, the disc drives are pretty easy to change on those snappers. I like them. Rear wheel drive with bagger on the back. Awesome. Ogre Beast has a Power More engine on it, and it was fun trying to find the valve clearances and such. Yeah, these odd engines. I know, right? All right, everybody. We're at the end. We're going to cut it. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by. Ms. Zippo says, bye to you all. I hope everyone has a wonderful week ahead, and I hope so too. Everybody be safe out there. Keep on mowing. Catch you on the next one. Later. And I'm out of here.